Hello everybody, my name is Elisa Morales. I'm a mayoral candidate. I was born and raised in El Paso in the Lower Valley, graduated from Eastwood. I'm 32 years old and I'm running for mayor. The last experience that I had with DC, I was working on policy. I see El Paso in a very interesting position right now where we can start looking at really good policy that is going to set us up for future growth. And so I'll talk a little bit more about that, I'm sure, in the questions. But again, one of the things that I think we need on city council and just in our elected representatives is to make sure that all lenses, all people, all demographics are represented in our city council. So that's why I'm running for mayor.
What is the most serious problem facing El Paso, and what can you do to alleviate that problem?
One of the most serious issues facing El Paso is lack of innovation. I think that we are stalled on politicking issues. It is a real hindrance to progress. And let me give you an example. About 30 years ago, El Paso had the highest average salary in all of Texas. That's when we were very high on manufacturing, and that has changed. But our policies and our approach to business has not changed. We have not innovated. And now our average salary is about the lowest in Texas. So that's one example of where we need to innovate. Another area that we need to innovate, we're in a desert. So we need to be good stewards of our resources and address issues like water security and innovations in our infrastructure regarding energy. I'm trying to be nice because I heard it. I don't want to leave you guys in the middle of a thought.
What are the top 3 priorities that you will address on your first day if you are elected? And given that this is International Women's Day, could you speak to what you might do for gender equality, given the fact that Hispanic women earn less than half what white men do in this community?
Okay, so the first 3 things that I would tackle, one, I think we need to build some camaraderie and establish basic governance and professionalism and decorum in our city government. So we need to have a good approach to doing that because we have to tackle these issues together. If we can't get along, then we're going to stall it. The citizens of El Paso will be wanting, some results. So that's the first thing, is how do we all work together? The other thing is we need to have a collaborative approach on how we diversify our economic industry. We have UTEP, which produces a great number of highly skilled engineers. And so I want to create a capacity for not only blue-collar jobs to be here, but also highly skilled individuals. In collaboration, just an example, we have to have a bottom-up approach, so collaboration. So that's one of the things that I want to address. I didn't get to address the rest of your questions. I'd like to.
Well, I'm going to specifically ask this of you. You're a young person who left and then has come back here. And one of the things that I have noticed after living here for 15 years, we do have a brain drain in this community where a lot of people get highly educated in their great public school system, they go away to college and they don't come back. I mean, I would like to see more of our kids coming back, including my own. But can you address that issue, and what would you think would be something that could actually bring back the young, educated populace that lead this community?
Yes, thank you for asking that question, because this is something that I will continue to be very vocal about. I want to change the way that conversation to brain drain to a brain waste. Again, are we having the capacity for our skilled people to come back? I was talking to somebody, she already left, who had been working in San Francisco doing graphic designing, and she's looking to get back into the job market, but she can't find something. That's a similar perspective that I've had, is that I want to be here, and I don't see that we are striving to create the capacity. And this is a perspective that I get as somebody in this demographic, somebody who's actively in the job market. Again, and the other reason I think we don't have a brain drain is because we have a highly skilled university that produces very good teachers. So our students are getting educated at good schools here in El Paso, in primary schools, and we have access to UTEP. So I guess I want to change the conversation to brain drain to maybe brain waste. Another question? Okay, so I'm going to start with your question since I have 2 minutes on gender equality, and that's something that I saw in Washington, D.C. When I worked there. So let me give you just really quickly a background. So I worked in higher education, and I worked in all areas of healthcare. I worked in hospice, mental health. I've done research on type 2 diabetes. I worked for Medtronic, one of the largest manufacturers for medical devices, and then I worked in policy. When I was working in Washington, D.C. for senators, I realized that some of the most impactful policymakers were those that have had actual experience in their industry, right? You can write policy, but when you have been an actual teacher yourself and you're writing an education bill, you bring something to the table that somebody who's just studied policy doesn't bring, that perspective. And that's why I'm running for mayor. As we diversify, we talk about diversification, but we need to talk about diversification in regards to experience. And yes, while you've seen the other mayoral candidates and I look a little bit different, and we need to talk about diversification and gender equality in our government, I also want to talk about diversification of experiences and lenses in our government. I came back to El Paso and I saw that there's a lot of opportunities that have been missed, but a lot of more opportunities on the horizon, and I didn't want to sit on the sidelines making commentary, oh, I wish City Council would do this, and so I got up and I decided to run for mayor. So thank you guys for coming today, and I hope that we can continue to engage further.